everyone and welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be my 9-week pregnancy update. So if you want to see how I've been doing in my 9th week of pregnancy, then keep watching. So this is my last week in single digits because obviously next week I'm going to turn 10 weeks and I feel like getting into double figures just makes it feel a lot more real for me. And obviously then it's like 2 weeks or so until your 12-week scan, and then it's like not that long really until I can tell you all, which is so exciting. Just the whole prospect of being like openly, honestly pregnant is just such a nice thing to think about because I'm getting really bored of hiding it now. So this week I turned 9 weeks, and I turned 9 weeks on Tuesday, and today is Thursday and it is the 10th of August now. So if you're watching this back, you'll know when I roughly filmed it. So on Monday I actually had my booking in appointment with my midwifery team, and they've changed things so much since I first had Bill and even since I had Daisy. But I was booked in by someone that I hadn't seen before. Like, she was a lovely midwife. She had twin girls, which was really lovely, and we just had like a really nice relationship, which was lovely. And there was also a student midwife as well, which was fine by me because everybody has to start somewhere, and she was so sweet as well. And it was about, I would say probably about an hour appointment. So if you've never had a booking in appointment, then make sure that you prepare plenty of time. So if you've got other kids, then like make sure that they have somewhere to be, like if you've got family looking after them and stuff, and make sure you've got plenty of time as well if you need to like let work know. And we had to go to the hospital this time, which we never had to do before because normally it's been in like our local GPs and the midwives have a room or an area there. But we went to the hospital and Mark came with me, which he's never done for this appointment before, because we just both felt like after with what happened with Daisy, because obviously if you're new to my channel, she had a syndrome that I also have and spent 6 weeks in NICU, but I will leave the playlist to sort of Daisy down below, so if you want to find out more you can do. But we both wanted to be there just to sort of really reiterate that this time we do want extra scans that we've been recommended to have by like her team and stuff like that. And when I first went in, Mark had to wait outside because obviously it's really important that all pregnant women are asked before their meetings in private whether or not they are subject to domestic abuse in any way, shape or form. Obviously that's not the case for me, but just to let you know, if you do go with your partner, he may have to wait outside or she may have to wait outside while you have those questions asked. And then they took my weight and my height, and then Mark was free to come in. One thing that I'm really excited about is that this pregnancy is actually the sort of the pregnancy where I've been the lowest weight. So for the first time in my life as a pregnant lady, I have not had a tick in the obese category. And you know I've been losing a lot of weight. I lost 3 stone recently with Summer Wall, so it was an amazing thing to have my folder and look through it. These are all my pregnancy notes, and just be like, wow, I'm not in that category. As far as I know, I don't have to have the gestational diabetes test, so the glucose tolerance test, which is around 32-34 weeks, something like that. So that's the first, and I'm really pleased not to have that done because it's gross. And that was a big moment for me because I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this pregnancy in terms of like my baby's health and where they're going to be at, but I feel like I'm starting this pregnancy in the best possible place for me right now. So I was really chuffed. And weirdly, apparently I've grown a centimetre since my last pregnancy, so I don't know how that's happened at all. But yeah, I'm 1 centimetre taller. I'm growing up, guys. So that was really good. They took a blood sample. I still have a little tiny mark on my arm there. I have had that much blood taken now that like they were asking me questions and she was just taking my blood and I didn't even wince. So they fill 3 vials up and that all goes off for testing. I know my scan date now, and it is the 5th of September, and I'll actually be 13 weeks to the very day. And the reason why it's a week late is because we're actually on holiday during the week that I turned 12 weeks. So that was frustrating because I knew that like there was a very small chance that they could put me in for my scan at around 11 weeks, but unfortunately they didn't. So I'm going to be spot on 13 weeks, and that's fine. It's a little bit longer to wait, which is slightly frustrating, but the way I see it is that, like, you know, the last week of waiting, I'm on holiday and having a really nice time, and what we are going to do is, obviously I'll vlog and film my holidays normal, but I'm going to film that as a pregnant lady, so that when I finally get around to editing it, hopefully you should all know that I'm pregnant, which will be nice, so I can just sort of be myself, because I've been very lax on like vlogging and doing videos at the moment, just because I don't want to be rumbled when I'm not ready to say that I'm pregnant yet. So yeah, that went really well. They asked a lot of questions about like our medical history, so obviously my syndrome came up a lot, and it was just a really nice experience. It made it feel very real for me. We had like a really good chat and a laugh, and the midwives were lovely, and it was so strange walking back into the part of the hospital again where it all began, because we're very, very used to being in the labour ward and NICU, because it's all sort of combined. We've spent a lot of time there, obviously. We've spent a lot of time in the hospital since, but just not in that area again. So it was exciting but very surreal as well, because obviously we weren't expecting to be here so soon. So that was the most exciting thing about this week, just because I feel like we're on track. I've got my notes, I'm in a really good sort of place of health, and we got our scan date, so it's not long now. So I'm going to move on quickly to symptoms. So I don't want to jinx things, touch wood, knocking on my bedside table here. I have felt slightly better over the past 2 or 3 days. I wouldn't say I feel myself. I don't feel normal. I don't feel fantastic by any means, but I have been managing a lot better, and I've been feeling a lot less queasy, and I've been able to eat a little bit better. Excuse the pregnancy burps, I'm ever so sorry. But what I will say is that on Monday, the start of the week, bearing in mind it's Thursday, I was so ill, like to the point where I didn't leave the house all day. I was lying on our bed right here, and the kids were upstairs playing, and I could barely move, and I felt like such a terrible mum, because it's the school holidays and I wasn't able to do anything. I had to message Mark and say, look, I'm so sorry, but can you pick up something on the way home from work for us to eat? I can't leave the house, I've just not got the energy to do it. I managed to drag myself downstairs and make the kids like beans on toast, and they had some fruit, thankfully, as my saving grace, but it was all I was able to do. I was just absolutely exhausted, and I was getting quite down by that point, because I was like, I'm 9 weeks tomorrow and it's not getting any better, it's getting worse. And then on the day that I turned 9 weeks, I feel a lot better, like significantly different. So another thing that I have done this week is that I have used my Doppler, and I've only done that today, so I am 9 weeks and 2 days pregnant, and I did actually manage to find the heartbeat. I have the Angel Sounds Doppler. I've had this with all 3 of my pregnancies now, and I've also lent it to 2 friends. It looks like this, and it has headphones. Personally, I wish I had one of those ones with like the wands that you can get in there a little bit, because this is the bit that picks it all up, and it's quite awkward to maneuver. So like, it works, but I would probably check out other ones, I guess. But yeah, I managed to find the heartbeat once on my own. Well, I actually found it twice during that time, and then I found it just a little bit earlier with my mum as well, which was really exciting. I feel like at this stage in your pregnancy, you don't get that much support from, you know, midwives and medical teams and other people, because it's all very hush hush. You've not had your scan yet, so it's just that little bit of comfort to get me to the scan, and I was really, really pleased to hear it. I'm not going to use it again probably this week. I might wait until next week and see if I can find it a bit more easily, but yeah, that was really nice. So a little bit about baby. Baby is now about 2.3 centimeters long, which is roughly the size of a grape, which is a decent size, isn't it, really? And they now have a perfect tiny replica of an adult human heart, but just a very, very, very tiny one, and that's all functioning normally with 4 chambers, which is such a lovely thing to think about, because that heartbeat is going to be the one that they're going to have for the rest of their life, which is so lovely. And they also, and this week, baby's reproductive organs are either going to turn into testes or ovaries. So even though baby already knows genetically that they are a male or a female in gender, it's going to be sort of properly there soon. So I still think it's a boy. You'll have to let me know in the comments below what you think it is, but I don't know, I just have a really big like boy feeling with this one. So I'm going to quickly show you my bump and then I will let you go. So I've got my dungarees on again. I don't feel like there is a significant difference to last week. I still feel like there's a difference from obviously when I first became pregnant. I definitely have a more pronounced belly and it feels a lot sort of rounder and more stretched at the front as well, but it might still be only something that's visible to me. But yeah, that is my 9-week belly. So I think that's everything for week 9. I hope that I am back again at week 10 and able to share another update, and fingers crossed I still feel like I do now or even better, because that would be absolutely amazing. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and if you are pregnant, I'm wishing you lots of luck as well, and hopefully I will see you next week. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new, because it would be lovely to have you back again. And yeah, I will see you very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.